Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschadyaresha Tadine. Alright, so we are in the departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. We chanted all of our pranam prayers. And now we are continuing where the devotees are longing for the Lord. All the devotees of Hastinapur, they're lamenting because Krishna is finally leaving after the battle of Kurukshetra. He's finally leaving. And all the different devotees and different classes of devotees are lamenting. We're hearing from the ladies who are on top of the palaces in Mathura, and they're just watching Krishna go. All the ladies, the Lord is very attractive to the ladies. The Lord is the ultimate ladies' man. At least Krishna is. Whereas Ram, he was very attractive to all the ladies, but he was very fixed on just Sita. No one else from Sita entered his consciousness. But in the Krishna, when he appears as Krishna, he's much more liberal, and all of the affection from the ladies gets reciprocated in Krishna. So, like this, let's. Did we read the kings and administrators are living like animals in the lowest modes of existence? I think we did. Yeah, we finished 25. Yes. So just the last two verses. There's been some days. It says, "Oh dear friends, here's that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected." And then he said, whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power. The truth positive shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. So these are some of the reasons the Lord comes to give confidential pastimes to his confidential devotees, and then also to chastise the animalistic kings and rulers who are leading the world down a very degraded path. So we actually should choose a side. We should choose, all right, do I want to be part of the confidential devotees of the Lord who he is coming to ultimately liberate and give pleasure to? Or do I want to be part of the animalistic degradation of society? And for that very reason, the Lord has to come and chastise and punish. So it's obvious, right? We should not be part of that. But because we're so conditioned against our own interests, we want we want sense pleasure, which is the goal of the animal kingdom, the goal of the illusioned in this world. And so, unfortunately, our intelligence may even know, no, I should go to the Lord, but our senses and mind want to act against our will, against our ultimate well-being. So ultimately, that's why we have to find somebody who is beyond this, and they can show us the way. And if we can sincerely submit to them, they can show us how to overcome this. And ultimately, when you associate with others who've overcome this, if you're sincere, what's over there? If you're sincere, you'll get benefited. But you can also, there are many devotees who right in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is right there, they're right there. But because some lapse of insincerity was there, they couldn't appreciate or couldn't fully surrender. And they also may have been looking elsewhere, and then eventually, when Maya strikes, we all take the first opportunity we can, Like, okay, I'm practicing devotional service, but, ooh, that girl I was always hoping for, there she is, and then gone, many years, something like that. It doesn't matter. Oh, the job came. See you later, Krishna. So, no, yeah, this is devotees. This is, Actually, Prabhupada often would say, don't be surprised who leaves. You be surprised who stays. That's true, actually. I'll be surprised if you all stay in the course of your life, Krishna conscious. I'll be very surprised. Maya is so strong. She'll bewilder. She can bewilder all of us very easily. But only be surprised who receives the mercy of Krishna, where he doesn't let them go and fulfill their desires of the illusions of this world. So, let's do text 26. Aho alam shlag. Oh, it's Aho alam shlag yatamam yadokulam. Oh, it's right here. Sorry. Aho alam punyatamam madorvanam. Yadesha pumsan rishabashriyapati. Svajanmanachan kramanena chanchati. Aho! I like this. You see this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He's always like, aho, 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 brothers. Saying like this. Aho, oh, alam, verily. Shlag yatamam, supremely glorified. Yadu, King Yadu. Kulam, dynasty. Aho, oh, alam, verily. Punyatamam, supremely virtuous. Madhorvanam, the land of Mathura. Yat, because. Esha, this. Pumsam, of all the living beings. Rishabha, supreme leader. Shriya, of the goddess of fortune. Pati, husband. Svajanmana, by his appearance. Chankramanena, by crawling. Chaanchati, glories. Okay. Oh, how supreme. Let's see. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So the ladies are now glorifying the Yadu dynasty and the land of Mathura. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits his body and accepts another body, but his birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is the parent of the sun. So you get this analogy? That the Lord is always present, and it looks like, the Lord is arisen in this dynasty, this family, like this. But the Lord is always present, but just when the cycles turn and the position of the world is such, the Lord appeared through this family, like this. Just like the sun is appearing over the horizon, many say like the Lagna is the parent of the sun, but that's not factual, right? Even our modern scientists, they understand like this. So the sun is existent in every part of the solar system, but it becomes visible at a scheduled time, and so also becomes invisible at another scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in the universe like the sun, and again leaves our sight at another time. Okay, good. He exists at all times and at every place, but by his causeless mercy, when he appears before us, we take it for granted that he has taken his birth. Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of revealed scriptures certainly becomes liberated just after quitting the present body. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and enunciation. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita who talks about this point. You know it? It's very famous. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tyaktvadeham punarjanma naitimam iti sorjana. So one who knows the transcendental glories of the Lord's janma, his birth, and karma, his activities, if you know the divyam nature of them, you never have to take birth in this material world all again. If you actually understand how the Lord is taking birth and how he acts, you actually don't have to suffer in this material world anymore. That's Krishna's promise in Bhagavad Gita, at least. 4:9, I believe? Yes. Or is it 7? But in the 4th chapter, he's saying this verse. So, Prabhupada is saying this here, that one is, you get liberated. You get liberated from the material world altogether. So that's why we actually are learning about the Lord's birth, just by reading the Bhagavatam. Sincerely, because right, I can Bhagavatam, but if we're over there, under here, I don't know, maybe the phone or a laptop or anything, no problem. All problems actually, but then we'll miss the actual opportunity. Because none of us want to suffer, correct? Do you want to suffer? You want to suffer? No. You want to suffer?
I want to enjoy.
Yes, of course. But it's just the natural. But we're the cause of our own suffering, actually, because we want everything other than the Lord's enjoyment. We want our own kind of selfish thing, and then we'll miss out on the very thing that could fulfill that. Just by watering the root of the plant, you'll nourish every part of the plant. You'll just by giving your time, your attention, your energy unto the Lord, you'll nourish every part of your life, every part. But if you're just like, no, I have to this or that, and we focus on everything other than the Lord, this is how fear arises. Dualism. By becoming dualistic, everything else matters except the one truth. The one truth is the Lord. But no, I gotta focus on this, or I've got a child, we gotta focus on finances, we gotta focus on this, that, the other thing. Wife. No, the Lord. The wife will get taken care of, child will get taken care of, finances will get taken care of, no problem. Nothing to fear. But because we turn away from the Lord, we forget. We misidentify with who we are. We think, I'm this body, I'm of this lineage, I'm of these parents, and I have to make them proud, and I have to I have to distinguish myself in this world. This whole illusion. Then we suffer. And we get chastised by Maya's kicks over and over and over and over and over again. But just what's the simple, there's the one point. There's one truth. Serve that one truth. Put your own stuff to the side. That will get nourished. Do not worry. Do we have no faith in the Lord that He fulfills desires? But don't strive for your desires. Strive for His desires. Has this been realized by us yet? Any practical experience, Tanmay? Very little.
Yeah, actually.
English for me.
Like he's saying that you're already sitting here, which is in itself is it's by His mercy only. I feel like in that sense. And
Yeah.
then if the more I'm chanting, the more I'm listening to whatever you guys are saying and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you see, I forget, there was something that happened the other day, and you're like, oh, Krishna fulfilled that desire. I forget what it was, but you were remarking to me. But like that, when we want to do a service for Krishna, you just see everything, in your heart, Krishna will will lead, everything that's in your heart to you. But you have to first surrender. Okay. So you have to first surrender. You'll get everything you need. Try not to get lost in the chains of the mind, the chains of the senses, which aren't anything to do with you, actually. This is like the car. Don't get so caught up in your car. You're the person in the car, you get in the car, you get out of the car, you use the car to do this, that, and the other thing, and that's it. You do the same thing with your body. But we're so caught up in gratifying the senses of the body. The chief being sex life, actually. This is the chief driver of humanity and everyone. They want to, experience that I would say pleasure. But it's temporary, it's limited. I mean, I'm practically experiencing in my life. When you get a wife, and you have children, you can, for the whole entire the process of having children, it's like a 1.5 year period where you're not minimum. There's no really chance for this type of activity unless you want to do very degraded things. But this is this is the nature of all pleasures of this world. They don't yield long-lasting happiness. Controlling the senses is the secret to happiness, as Bhagavad Gita says. Restricting the senses, how could that be? Because just like by restricting from heroin, you're much happier. But heroin feels good. Opium feels good. Any of your friends ever do anything like that ever? No, I had some friends, a lot of, maybe more than we realize, pharmaceutical heroines and opiates and things like that, But, this is kind of how it works. It feels good temporarily, but it causes suffering in the long term. Material sense pleasure, it feels good temporarily, but it causes suffering so much in the long term. So we have to understand that. And when we make our choices, we think, is this for Krishna's pleasure or is it for mine? And even if it is for your pleasure, can this actually give me lasting happiness? Almost certainly, most of the answers will be no. So, where did I leave off? What word?
Liberation is obtainable after...
Yeah. Liberation is obtainable after many births and after great endeavor. What type of endeavor?
Great.
Yes. Is spiritual life easy? No. It's a great endeavor. It's just not like, I showed up at the morning program, why has it not worked yet? It's a great endeavor. It's every fiber of your being type of endeavor. Yes.
What's that verse in the Gita where Krishna says, one must endeavor with great determination? Remember Devi Dasi was pointing that out in her japa workshop. It was just reminding me of it, but I couldn't think of the verse.
I don't know. I know the next part of Nectar of Instruction, what we'll do finally next week. Determination is one of the... is it Nishchaya? But we have to endeavor with great determination. I don't know exactly which one. But great endeavor in patience and perseverance, in knowledge and renunciation. But simply by knowing in truth about the Lord's transcendental births and activities, one can get liberation at once. That is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. But those who are in the darkness of ignorance conclude that the Lord's birth and activities in the material world are similar to those of the ordinary living being. Such imperfect conclusions cannot give anyone liberation. His birth, therefore, in the family of King Yadu as the son of King Vasudeva, and his transfer into the family of Nanda Maharaj in the land of Mathura, are all transcendental arrangements made by the internal potency of the Lord. The fortunes of the Yadu dynasty and that of the inhabitants of the land of Mathura cannot be materially estimated. If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is in store for those who actually enjoyed the company of the Lord in person, as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, certainly obtained something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. So there's actually a couple of things that Prabhupada is hinting at here. One, many people in, you could say, many schools of Hinduism, they have the Purusharthas, the four wealths that people chase, and what are they?
Liberation.
That's the final, moksha.
Kam.
Dharma,
Dharma.
Artha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and moksha.
Yeah, four. I
Yes.
read this yesterday only.
Yes. So Dharma, is so Dharma is practicing religiously.
Righteousness.
Yeah, righteousness and worldly morality in religion. So that's good. Artha is generating wealth in this world. Kama is receiving sense gratification in this world. And moksha is being liberated from even those three things and having a bliss, being free from any type of worldly bondage and suffering. But if you get liberation, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, just by knowing the transcendental activities of the Lord's birth and transcendental nature of the Lord's birth and activities, if you get liberation, you get free from suffering just from that. Imagine having direct association with Him. Imagine what type of prize that is. Right now we work so hard to relieve our suffering. Right? You guys are, maybe, I was picking on you guys, but it's very relevant. You guys are, having this kind of issue with the kind of governmental regulations. You have to get a certain type of job, you have to do things a certain type of way, and it causes sometimes all kinds of, disappointing and upsetting situations, is it not? And I wonder what that is.
Freed.
What's that?
Freedom.
Maybe it was just the door.
Okay. So, but we try so hard to relieve our suffering situations. Here's the secret. Understand the divine nature of Krishna's birth and activities. And actually, by doing that, every demon that Krishna kills in his pastimes also is a demon or an anartha in your own heart. Just by understanding Krishna's pastimes, those demons within your heart, that these are the things causing you suffering. Our selfishness, our lust, our greed, our cheating nature, our foolishness, arrogance, all these things are what are causing us suffering. It's not the problem that's the problem, it's our what that's the problem.
Attitude.
Yeah, it's our attitude that's the problem. So let the Lord work on your attitude. That's the only problem. It's not the circumstance. It's how we are viewing the circumstance. So what's to speak those who not only associate with the Lord in His pastimes, but get direct personal association like the Yadu dynasty and the residents of Mathura, in which Krishna and Vrindavan is part of that district of Mathura. Imagine how fortunate they are. Imagine how fortunate you could be. We were talking yesterday about we're building our next life. We don't realize we're doing it, but every day we're building our future life. And in this whole lifetime, what future life are we building? The scriptures say this type of life is what we should build towards. Being an intimate associate of the Lord. We can be Him our acharyas all point towards Vrindavan. We can be in this holy dham. We pray, right, to Tulsi for this very thing every morning. Please make me a resident of Raj as well. Grant me residence in the groves, in the pleasure groves of Vrindavan. This is where we can be so happy. And for let's say that someone's online who doesn't even know what Vrindavan is. This is like the most paradise-like heavenly abode. in the deepest depths of paradise in heaven, where you can enjoy with the Lord eternally. But in order to build such a life, we should even at first know of the Lord. If we don't even know the Lord, how can we work on any relationship? How can we hope for any relationship? So there's some information of the Lord. I know you guys have lots of interviews to do. I know you guys, there's lots of sevas and duties to do. But we should take time every day. Like, how can I immerse myself in the Lord's pastimes and activities? His janma and his karma. That actually itself, just doing that, it relieves you from all kinds of suffering. I've seen it in my life. I'm at a more comfortable stage in my life now than ever before. But it's only by the Lord's grace. I was in so much suffering. You couldn't even imagine how much suffering I was. I mean, when I first got one of the first things that happened to me when I joined Krishna consciousness, I got arrested. And I had like $25,000 taken from me by the law. It was such a miserable situation. And then I had to go through all kinds of probation and all kinds of legal hoops. Just like you guys also have some legal hoops from the government. You weren't convicted of anything. I actually didn't get technically convicted of anything either. But I had to go through so many legal and nonsensical things. But this was my own doing. But the Lord ultimately relieved me, because I was involved and implicated in things that were against my interests, that were due to my bad qualities, my conditioned bad qualities. So drop these things if you can. Don't wait until Krishna really forces the hand. I know the clock is winding down for some of your things. Work sincerely in this time, but it's not the material activity. Oh, I should have just did more applications, or I should have just worked harder. No, you should have turned to the Lord. Did we make a great endeavor towards the Lord, or did we make a great endeavor towards trying to fulfill our lusty desire, or our own desire on how we want things? Only you know. But He knows too. You can't hide. When we leave the morning program and everyone goes back to their room, or they're going off to the university, or doing the next part of the day, I don't necessarily know what you guys are doing. Me, if you're doing anything insincere, no problem. But Lord, He knows exactly, and He will deliver exactly what is deserving of your activities. Is it not? Have you not always ever gotten exactly what you've deserved? So He says, Ye yatamam prapadyante, tam stataiva bhajamyaham. He says, as all surrender unto me, what? That's how you get rewarded accordingly. So surrender to Him. It's in your best interest. We all start out very selfish. If you're selfish, great. Use logic. It's in your best interest to surrender to Him. Don't be a fool. But we're so foolish. We're just so foolish. We're conditioned that way. That's how this world operates. It drives us towards foolishness more and more and more. So we keep sleeping in the lap of who? Maya. The empress of illusion. But please, it works. I promise you. I'm not a very good testament, but I have some testimony in my life. I'm not speaking emptily to you. I'm not saying, yes, I think it works, guys. I've told you these stories, how in my life Krishna has moved things. Because they were real, they were very relevant to me. So I'm telling you the same. Please, you will be successful. You're guaranteed. It's a guarantee. But who is actually going to do it's a great endeavor. It is a great endeavor. Who is chanting their rounds? And my wife was having a nice talk yesterday with one of the young girls. And Yeah, she was doing, she's always doing some great endeavor. Uh, but, doing, okay, the Muslims have a fast, we'll do this thing. The Christians are doing this, I'll do follow like this. Trying to practice every single religion all at once. And that's wild. That's too much. But anyway, no problem. No problem. I that's not for me. But anyhow, my wife was saying, are you doing the austerities recommended in this one? In this practice that we're practicing, are you doing the recommended austerities? Are you chanting your rounds? Are you reading the books? Are you following the process? And if you're not doing all this, don't worry about all these other things. All this other stuff. What the Muslims or the Christians. I mean, that was for her case. But even all this other stuff, if you're not chanting your rounds, if you're not doing the process here, you're not doing your seva, anything else you do it'll ultimately be futile. It'll be useless endeavor. Who cares what this one is doing, what the friend is doing, what the girl you like is doing? It doesn't matter what they're doing. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not making your commitment to the Lord. And so the Lord has to continue to dish out something you're probably not thrilled with. Who here is thrilled with their life? Who's so bold to say, I'm thrilled? I'm thrilled with how my life is right now. Can anyone?
I'm just trying to learn what lesson that he's trying to teach.
Yes.
Thrilled is...
No, of course. I'll tell you now, I am more thrilled, because there's gradations, right, of being excited or happy with life. I'm more than I was in the beginning, for sure. But it's a gradual process, and I know I have so much internal work I have to do. So much. Every day I have to do a ton of evaluating, and also, like you said, learn the lessons that he's putting in front of me. My life is so much better than where it was. So much better. I can't even... Oh my God, I'm so happy that these darker chapters of my life have been closed, and we can go on to lighter chapters. But really not much has changed other than my character through the Lord's mercy, and through the association of the devotees. And me also doing my part. How does Krishna give mercy in the Damodar Leela? He sees what? He sees her endeavor, her bhajan. And through her endeavor, Yashoda's endeavor, he says, okay, I'm conquered by your sincerity. That's how he's conquered. He's conquered by your sincerity and your love. He's not conquered by anything else. But are we being sincere? When the morning program is over, one goes in this room, one goes in this room, or you guys go off to the university. Is it sincere bhakti from there?
No bhakti at all. No, not like no bhakti, but like that.
I know what you mean. Yes. But you're standing in two boats. One foot in the Krishna Bhakti boat, and one foot in the material, desires boat. And you can't stand in two boats very long; they will float apart. So
that also needs, at this moment I feel Prabhu Krishna only wants us to do that. Otherwise, even bhakti will go. At
yes,
that point,
yes. No. These duties have to be done, but how can you do them truthfully in bhakti? This is a different thing.
Is it
we have to evaluate. Why am I doing this thing? Yeah. Am I doing it to fulfill some desire I have? Or am I doing this genuinely out of a service? You have to evaluate. If you scour your heart, you'll find we do most things out of some material desire that we have. Most things. But if even I can sit here and I can give class with complete material desire, I want people to recognize my intelligence. This is a huge obstacle in bhakti. We can remember verses. I want people to see that I can remember the verses. We can do so many things. I want people to see me. Look at how nice I sing. This is actually an obstacle every single sadhaka faces. It's called pratishtha, or pride. This is a material desire. This has nothing to do with bhakti, even though it looks like you're practicing bhakti. And that same person can be, someone else can be doing IT work. But in their heart, they're saying, the fruits of this, I want to give this to Krishna. I want to help support the temple. I want to do this, that, and the other for Krishna. I want to, serve the devotees with the fruits that I get from this. They're doing bhakti over the person over here giving class because they want people to recognize them. Do you see? It's different.
Makes me think of Indra and the Govardhan Lila.
What about Indra and the Govardhan Lila?
His mood, of pride, wanting that all the Vrajavasis to look and worship him and not Krishna.
Well, yes. So that's ultimately, and he couldn't even recognize, and it gets so inflated at one point where you will act in such egregious ways for your own recognition, like Indra did, that you won't even recognize God right in front of you, and you'll work against the devotees. He tried to kill all the devotees, all the dearest devotees of the Lord. That's big boo-boo.
Rain thing.
Yes, by trying to drown them. You've heard this pastime? So,
It's like Duryodhana too.
yeah.
Krishna
Oh,
coming to him.
so many. Karna as well. I was reading something this morning about how Karna, he was talking about the unfairness of life with Krishna. And Krishna, he was ultimately saying, well, I was born,
And some tried to kill me.
Yeah, people were trying to kill me from the moment of my birth. I was born in cowherd. He while you guys were all getting trained as warriors, I didn't go to get an education till I was 16. And he goes through his own pastimes, but he spins it in such a way that he tries to sympathize with Karna. But ultimately, because he was arguing, why did you take Duryodhana's side? Duryodhana was the only one who was loyal to me and friendly to me, and how could I take any other side? And Krishna was explaining, all the lots and the hardships we get in life, but it doesn't excuse us from practicing righteousness. We should be righteous in our activities. So anyhow, the ultimate righteousness, the ultimate dharma, is Bhagavat Dharma. We have some duty to the Lord. We have to figure out. And if you don't know, guess what? Someone probably does know. We have to figure out how can I engage this facility of my life for Krishna. And don't try and figure it out all on your own. We'd be happily help. Me and my wife have some experience. Our teachers we're going to bring here, they'll have much more experience. And then you can actually, you can mold your life in this way. Okay, everyone has a tough lot in life. No one has, life is so easy. No, if you're in the material world, it's tough. You've done every imaginable terrible thing for lifetimes. So now you have to pay all kinds of karma from past lifetimes. And you've done so many good things too, so you have to get those karmas as well. But ultimately, we have to be extricated from this, because it'll just keep adding up and creating new karma and so on, and we'll just get implicated in more and more and more things, more nonsense. But the devotees can help. The devotees are here to help. Actually, when I come, I don't know if you noticed, but this class wasn't that much about Bhagavatam. It was more some of the things I've been wanting to tell you guys for the last week or so. But please, take this seriously. Make a great endeavor. And that's how you get blessed. You don't get blessed by, okay, I just did the bare minimum. Right, now let me do my real work in life. Your real work is here, now, in the morning. The other things, to maintain your survival. And then also offer the fruits of them to Krishna somehow too. Okay, you want to go hang out with friends? No problem. Talk to them about Krishna. Otherwise, not a good idea. Okay, I don't know. You want to work? Offer some fruit to Krishna. Otherwise, not a good idea. I know we've got loans, we've got this, that, and the other thing. Yes, Krishna will keep giving you all those crazy things until we get the point. I've seen in my life. Actually, loans were what ultimately forced me into the Grahastha ashram, which is good. It was healthy for me. If I didn't have loans, I would have considered brahmachari. So I'm like, I'm free. But I had this lingering thing that's forcing me to work. That, like, I have to pay back this. My mother is giving me all kinds of anxiety, and because I'm not paying it, and it's in her name. And actually, it was necessary for my journey, actually. But don't worry, Krishna has a thing. Now there's a situation where, as of right now, my loans are getting relieved. I have to work for a non-profit for the next 8 years for it to continue that, or it actually compounds and gets much worse. But as of right now, it's 2 years into getting relieved. But anyhow, don't...
Through serving Krishna.
What's that?
It's through serving.
Yeah, through serving Krishna. Krishna's given me like a 10-year sentence. If you want your loan relieved, you serve me 10 years in this way. So, okay. I'll serve you. Like,
You're already doing it anyway.
yeah, we were already doing, but but now he's secured that you better be doing this for 10 years. So like this. But anyway, I think, did I finish the purport?
No.
Where are we in the purport?
If simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what is...
No, I said that.
You've said that.
Okay.
All those who were fortunate. We can from there.
No, I think I did. I finished it.
Yeah.
Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord.
No, sorry.
So, anyhow, yes, today's Bhagavatam class, we took a spin, but mostly because I'm looking at you guys and wanting to give you just someone who has a little bit, I'm not like an elder too much, but just even 5 years 5 years more senior, whatever it is, could really help. So anyhow, please take this seriously. Yes, you can go. I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to know what you're doing. I have my own things I have to worry about. But if you're not being sincere in offering your activities to Krishna, do not expect anything from him. You cannot expect a single thing. If you can come and then, with the devotees, this, I'll do like this, Hare Krishna, this, that, done. And then at the end, you want to go and do material things afterwards. Then there's something missing still. No. It doesn't have to be material. Yeah, it doesn't have to be material. That's what I'm telling you. The activities that you're doing.
Know why you're doing it like that.
Well, know why you're doing it, and how also are you offering this to Krishna? Like, for instance, you do some work. Work will bring some money. Okay, so one portion of the money I have to put here, survival. Other portion of the money, where will it go for Krishna? There's something you could do like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, everything that you're doing. Okay, that's one way, the fruits of the activities. So work out the fruits of your activities. The other thing, okay, I'm studying here. Maybe I'm studying with this friend over here. No problem. Hey, this friend over here. What do you think about spiritual life? Anything, just something small. Just give them something. Be of service. Please Krishna through the interaction. Krishna wants all people to come to him. Ultimately, it's in their best interest. So give Krishna to others through what you're doing. Maybe you don't tell your boss, please, Mr. Sir, you're not Krishna conscious. This is your problem. If the company was more Krishna conscious, then we would be successful. No, that might not work.
They will tell
No, yes. They say, you go be Krishna conscious over here, and I'll see you later.
Tell them
But
you're into like Karuna when she was here. She was into meditation and yoga, and she would tell her boss that she would do that in the morning, and then her boss started to ask her, "Oh, what do you meditate on?"
Yeah, that's a good entry.
Yeah. Or you bring, I mean, you're not in person, but Yashoda Dalal, he brings in prasad every day, really good prasad that his wife makes, and he shares them with everyone in the office.
did you meet Yashoda Dalal? Did you all meet Yashoda Dalal?
No, I asked him the other day.
Piyush, you ever meet Yashoda Dalal?
Shodala?
Yashoda
He's
Dalal.
like bald. He's bald. He's like maybe 50.
What?
I don't think so.
Fortune 500 company. It was
Oh
like-
yeah. We had him as a guest twice here, but he's a phenomenal example of your guy's dharma. Came from India, had to go through the international student and worker route, and ultimately, was Sri Radhika? Was she a citizen of USA?
No, she's from Russia.
Okay, so yeah, he somehow made his way into the USA. However, whatever hoops.
He came to school and got a job.
Yeah. So then, but he actually made his way, and he's been leading very top level positions in many Fortune 500 companies. He's been moving all over the country now. I think I saw something he wants to move down to the deep south.
No, that was April Fool's joke.
Oh, it was April Fool's joke.
But anyway.
You got me. So anyway, yeah, he's our dear friend and well-wisher and supporter. But he shows, the interactions. He'll go to the pharmacist to get a medical treatment or something like that or something, and he'll give just a little taste of Krishna consciousness. He'll go to the dentist. He'll play, and he plays kirtan while they're working on his tooth. Just little small things that actually they go a really long way. You have little things that you can do, even if you're sitting there working, just playing kirtan in the background. Even if you're working and you got to take a 10-minute break and I'm going to chant around, just before I get back into this work. There's so many things you can do. It's not that like, all right, I do spiritual stuff in the morning and now I do nonsense in the evening. It's like, no, you do spiritual stuff in the morning, and then for your survival while you're doing your other duties, you try and make it as spiritual as possible. You're always being spiritual. That's what it is. Not like a dichotomy. You have to, make it universal. Your life is spiritual. Your life is for Krishna now. Well, hopefully. The question is, are you convinced? Are you convinced that making a life for Krishna will be good for you? Because guess what? I would not be surprised, even if Michael went off. Even if Michael got,
That would be a sight.
yeah. even if Michael, who knows? Even if because right now you look like you're on a trek towards. To surrender.
About that last night.
What?
Because I was talking about Ben.
You terrified Michael now.
Ben was here and he was like this, and then he just got.
Well,
Why?
no. Well, he's here. He's doing it. But yeah.
No, you answer.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not getting into this, but it doesn't matter. What I'm saying, even if it looks like one is really going for it, Maya can find the perfect thing that'll distract you, myself included. Anything could happen,
She tries harder.
Even
She tries harder. Like the more you're trying,
Okay.
yeah.
the more.
Because the test has to be there. What do you really want? Do you really want Krishna? He's acting through Maya, and he'll give it in front of you. Like the other day, one of the things before Michael kind of joined the temple and was going to be a brahmachari, he wanted to drive and get a car and all these things. And so for whatever reason, it didn't manifest. I thought maybe we'd give him our car and things, but now even that, we need to keep the car. Yeah, it's not a disaster, but it's not a. Yeah, I'm also glad because I actually need the car for things. But anyhow, the car is But anyhow, just the other day, he kind of like entered this new kind of phase of life where he's like, all right, I'm going to try the brahmachari path. But then, like, immediately after, he had a circumstance. Well, my brother's friend is like, he's got this car, and next thing you know, it's only $2,000 and things like that. And then, and we talked about it. But ultimately, the conclusion was like, what are you going to use a car for at this period of your life? What is the necessity of this thing? And there isn't one. So ultimately, but at one point that was like a desire. But so then Krishna said, all right, well, what do you want? You could do this thing, or because then once you get the car, then you got to get insurance, and then you got to work to maintain the insurance, and the next thing you know, pay for gas, and and next all the fixes, and next thing you know, you're back at BJ's, you're pushing carts, and you got to try to fight to maintain yourself again. So this is this is how Maya works. She's just like, hey, don't you want that one thing? Oh, it'll come. It'll be some nice young Indian girl. She'll come. It's very likely she will be Indian, but no problem. She doesn't have to be Indian. But anyhow, nice young Indian girl. She might come. And say. Yes, yes, but it doesn't have to be a loss if you can dovetail that thing. Like if that car, we could use that in Krishna's service, then it's good, no problem. I have 2 cars. We use them in Krishna's service, so they're not a huge obstacle. A house could be a huge obstacle. Maintaining a house, paying for a mortgage, all these things. By Krishna's grace, we can use it in His service, and we get the support we need to do it. But all of these things, if they're not used in Krishna's service, they're so dangerous. So if there's a nice young Indian girl and she wants to come to Krishna, perfect. Let's get married, and then you come and you work together for Krishna. She could be any girl. She could be a girl, but all of a sudden she wants to pull you away from Krishna. She's your enemy. Run. Run for the hills. Trust me. I know this. I have plenty of experience. Plenty of experience. And guess what? Krishna will he'll deliver Maya's package in such a way that it'll be so painful. It'll be so painful. Trust me, because you'll take Maya's package. I did it. And then it's like holding on to fire. It just burns you over and over and over again. You probably have some practical experience of this already. Do you not? Yes. So anyhow, finished. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.